Alright, on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Well, you know, here we have Hamas on one side that apparently broke ceasefire, right? And Israel fights back with much more firepower than Hamas did through the rockets. Hamas's goals in attacking Israel this time seem to be twofold. One, to let the Israelis know that they have rockets that can go a little further into Israeli territory. And Hamas has been bristling its back hairs like a dog for a couple weeks now, basically saying that they were going to end the ceasefire, and Israel in turn said that they'll continue the war. There are elections getting ready to happen in Palestine. Hamas, which controls Gaza, one, has made no real political inroads in the West Bank, which is controlled politically by Fatah. And as a governing group, they're not real popular. They haven't done a whole lot for the people, the Palestinians that live in Gaza. So now that there's not a war, or before Friday, when there was a ceasefire going on, Hamas became exactly what it is. It became responsible for the lives of the people in Gaza. So, as an administration, as a management group, as a government, Hamas hasn't done a very good job for its people, which made them politically unpopular. But as a combatant group, they've been pretty effective going against Israel. So, what's the best way to deal with the elections and make themselves more popular in an election? Well, do what they do best, and make them popular by attacking what some Palestinians consider to be the enemy, Israel. Olmert, he's acting prime minister while the new government, before the new government takes place. Olmert has kind of sacrificed himself to the international community as the villain here. I'm not sure that because of the public outcry that happened in Israel that things would have changed with the new prime minister, but launching a security campaign at this point, it'll take pressure off his successor in Israel and allow himself to become the scapegoat. Israel, in turn, reacted to the breaking of the ceasefire by going after two things. One, the infrastructure, the combative infrastructure of Hamas, and also they were trying to preempt any more rocket strikes or a wave of suicide attacks that Hamas has threatened. The problem that goes on here with Israel and Palestine, after this happens, everything will be the same as it was before. It won't change, and nothing will change here. The 1948 borders that were established make Palestine a divided country. It's impossible for them to unite themselves economically and have any kind of independent economic national identity as long as they're divided by Israel geographically. The problem is geography, the borders, so it makes it impossible for it makes Palestine a fiasco of a nation because they're literally divided into two. And for the Israelis, the 1948 borders put them in a position that at any given time Palestine can attack them from a very short distance. So neither side can live with things the way they are. I mean, something has to drastically change. Going back to the old borders will never work. Palestine cannot survive as a nation, as an independent nation, as long as they are economically and nationally divided by geography. So the cycle of violence is hardwired into the geography of the Israeli-Palestine province, and everybody wants to sit around and talk about the political reasoning of what's going on, and it's kind of almost irrelevant because yeah, it's the politics is determined by the shape and reality of the geography of these two countries, if we can call it that. The geography makes the conflict impossible to get beyond, because neither feels, and history has shown that neither can survive, coexist geographically the way the borders are set up now. So let's have a discussion, see what everybody thinks about it. Like I said, pro-Zion, pro-Palestine, anti-either. I don't think it much matters. I'm not a big fan of either side's mentality. Kind of seems like Crips and Bloods to me. It's been going on for millennia. And as long as things are the way they are geographically, I don't know what the answers are. Does anybody have answers? I don't know. Do you make the West Bank part of Jordan and the Gaza Strip part of Egypt? Now you have the Egyptians and Turks warning Israel that Hezbollah is considering attacking from the southern border because Israel's distracted. You see militant groups all over the world very openly recruiting in Indonesia. Just about everywhere besides Pakistan. Iranian students, barged the British embassy the other day because of England's support of Israel during this time. So you see people, gathering there, and the Iranian Ayatollah Khamenei has, come out and said the Muslim world must unite. And at the same time, Egypt's concerned because Hezbollah has all but declared war on Egypt, which is a Muslim nation, Sunni. It's I don't think it's as complicated as the pundits want to make it. I think that until they fix the geography of what's going on, it's never going to change, ever. And that's just the way it is. It's just never going to change.